Reading Lolita in Tehran. Introduction. Reading Lolita in Tehran by Azar Nafisi was first published in 2003. It is a memoir written by this Iranian author and professor. The book remained on the New York Times bestseller list for more than 100 weeks. The book has already been translated into 36 languages. Only after a short period of its publication, the book proved to be a universal phenomenon. The book describes the time period when the author happens to be a female professor of Western literature at the University of Tehran. It chronicles the events that take place in the 1970s. When the author, the professor, refuses to wear a veil in the university, she is expelled from the institute. Eventually, she begins to teach students, a few female students, at her home. The novel describes how the Iranian Revolution and Iran-Iraq War created a deep impact on the lives of the common people in Iran. The author presents the story through several personal anecdotes that she weaves together very skillfully. She picks the themes from the stories and then connects them to her and her devoted students who come to her to study. The book won the Non-Fiction Book of the Year award from BookSense in the year 2004. The name Lolita in the title has been taken from Vladimir Nabokov's world-famous novel Lolita. The original novel Lolita by Nabokov tells the story of a middle-aged married man who seduces the daughter of his wife and develops sexual relationship with that 12-year-old girl. Lolita has been used as a metaphor by the author in this memoir. It is a metaphor for life in the Islamic Republic of Iran, after the religious government was formed in the country. Through this book, the author has tried to show to the world that the regime in Iran imposes their dream upon the people's reality, turning them into figments of imagination. Plot summary. The book is a memoir of the experience of the author who returned to Iran during the Revolution, 1978 to 1981, and lived and taught in the Islamic Republic of Iran until her departure in 1997. It narrates her teaching at the University of Tehran after 1979, her refusal to submit to the rule to wear the veil and her subsequent expulsion from the university. Life during the Iran-Iraq War, her return to teaching at the University of Alamet Abitabai, 1981, her resignation, 1987, the formation of her book club, 1995–97, and her decision to emigrate. Events are interlaced with the stories of book club members consisting of 7 of her female students, who met weekly at Nafisi's house to discuss works of Western literature including the controversial Lolita, and the texts are interpreted through the books they read. The memoir has 4 sections: Lolita, Gatsby, James, and Austin. The first section, Lolita, describes how Nafisi is expelled from the university and how she starts her private literature class with her students Mashid, Yassi, Mitra, Nasrin, Azin, Sanaz, and Mana. They talk not just about Lolita, but 1001 Nights and invitation to a beheading. The main themes are oppression, jailers as Revolutionary Guards try to assert their authority through certain events such as a vacation gone awry and a runaway convict. Gatsby is set about 11 years before Lolita, just as the Iranian Revolution starts. The reader learns how some Iranians' dreams, including the author's, became shattered through the government's imposition of new rules. Nafisi's student Mr. Niazi puts the novel on trial, claiming that it condones adultery. Chronologically, this is the first part of Nafisi's story. The Great Gatsby and Mike Gold's works are discussed in this part. The reader meets Nasrin. Nafisi states that the Gatsby chapter is about the American dream, the Iranian dream of revolution and the way it was shattered for her. The James chapter is about uncertainty and the way totalitarian mindsets hate uncertainty. And Austin is about the choice of women, a woman at the center of the novel saying no to the authority of her parents, society, and welcoming a life of dire poverty in order to make her own choice. James takes place right after Gatsby, when the Iran-Iraq War begins and Nafisi is expelled from the University of Tehran along with a few other professors. The veil becomes mandatory and she states that the government wants to control the liberal-minded professors. Nafizi meets the man she calls her magician, seemingly a literary academician who had retired from public life at the time of the revolution. Daisy Miller and Washington Square are the main texts. Nasrin reappears after spending several years in prison. Austin succeeds Lolita as Nafizi plans to leave Iran and the girls discuss the issue of marriages, men and sex. The only real flashback, not counting historical background, is into how the girls and Nafizi toyed with the idea of creating a Dear Jane society. While Azin deals with an abusive husband and Nasrin plans to leave for England, Nafizi's magician reminds her not to blame all of her problems on the Islamic Republic. Pride and Prejudice, while the main focus, is used more to reinforce themes about blindness and empathy. Throughout the whole novel, Nafizi tackles the question of what is a hero and a villain in literature. Each independent section of the book examines notions of heroism and villainy by connecting characters from books such as Invitation to a Beheading or The Great Gatsby to others. The basis of her definition of heroism and villainy is the connection between characters who are blind to others' problems such as Humbert in Lolita and characters who can empathize. This theme is intertwined with that of oppression and blindness.